Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the DBL podcast. I am your host. Today's episode is going to be on a topic I like to call the ultimate sacrifice. As we go through life, we put ourselves in positions to win all the time. And if we do it right, then we'll probably win. Hell, we normally do. But there are also those times in life where no matter what we do, we seem to keep losing. So in today's episodes, that's what we're going to kind of get down into the nitty gritty of it. We're going to talk about those times when we lose. Hell, let's face it. If everybody won, there wouldn't be no need to pray. But since we're still praying, then let's see how far we're willing to go to win. This is a topic that, for as long as I can remember, this has always been my slogan. It's something that, as I was coming up, I think when I was about 20, I started to look back and I wanted things, and I wanted to know that ultimate question. How far am I willing to go to get everything that I want? And I firmly believe in this. I firmly believe in this statement because I've said it for as far back as I can remember, like I said. And that statement is very simple. It says, nothing good in life comes without an ultimate sacrifice. And when I say nothing good, you have people who want a Lexus, or they want an Escalade, or they want that Mercedes, right? But they think that because they have a regular 9 to 5 job and because their credit score is good, that they deserve those things. Kinda, but not really, right? You've done 2 out of the 3 things right. A regular 9 to 5 job with good credit, it might get you the car, but is it going to pay for the maintenance on that car? Are you going to be able to afford that 93 high octane fuel that needs to go in there versus that 87 fuel, the one you look for to, try to save 10 cents? Because I'm telling you right now, that Escalade ain't going to take that 87 gallon. It ain't going to take it. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of it, and as I went through my youth, I wanted to be something more than what I was. So I'm gonna give an example of it. And here's what I was willing to sacrifice, right? So I worked in a restaurant and I was a dishwasher, but I used to love to eat. And I noticed that the only person in the building that was eating free was the cooks. So I told the boss, I said, listen, man, all I want to do is I want to be a cook. That's all I want to do is I want to be a cook. He's like, why you want to be a cook? I'm like, because I just want to be a cook. I didn't know why. I just wanted to be a cook. So he was like, well, I don't got no openings right now. And so I told myself, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give up my job because I don't want to be a dishwasher. I want to be a cook. And because, ultimately I just wanted to eat for free. I mean, let's just go ahead and keep it a buck, right? I just really just wanted to eat free. So when he saw I was willing to give it up and to give up my job, he needed me. So he decided that he was going to make me a two-way player on the team. I got 20 hours on the cook line, 20 hours on the dish side. Eventually I became a full-time cook. So I started eating free and, so I'm making a little bit more cheddar, make a little bit more money to go with it. And then I'm noticing that I'm sneaking and eating, and I always got to hide. But I noticed there was a nighttime kitchen manager. The nighttime kitchen manager, he was making more money than me, and he didn't have to sneak and eat, right? And he worked nights, the same thing as I did. So boom, I sacrificed the cook line to go ahead and become that nighttime kitchen manager. So then all of a sudden I got married. And then my life started to change, so I couldn't be out at the job until 3 o'clock in the morning, no more 4 o'clock in the morning getting home. So I said I wanted to be the kitchen manager. Me and the kitchen manager, we talking, man, listen, I talked this dude up on everything, trying to be promoted. I'm trying to put him on the same career path that I'm on, because the only thing I wanted was his job. Ultimately, I became the kitchen manager, got more money, got better hours. I'm working 5 to 3. There were times when I used to come home from the club I used to come home from the club and it'd be 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd be to work at 5. I used to just go sit in the parking lot, club clothes on and everything. And I put a note on the glass at the door, say, when you get here, tap on the glass to wake me up, you know. But, ultimately I became the store manager. And I was willing, this all started from, in order for me to get everything that I wanted, I was willing to give up everything. I was a young man, starting my life over again, and I needed a job. So I had to do what I had to do to get what it was that I wanted. And what I wanted was to be able to eat when I wanted. I wanted to drive a nicer car. I wanted to make more money. And I wanted to be able to take out, the little honey or whatever it was, and eventually my family, and to be able to do better for them. And all of those things, man, they all came with a sacrifice, right? And, I hear a lot of people, they say, well, if I work hard, why should I have to sacrifice anything? That's an interesting question, but it's not a smart question. Just because you work hard, if you really think about the statement, right? Listen to the question, right? If I work hard, why should I have to sacrifice? Well, the fact that you have to ask that question means that hard work isn't enough. So let me say that again, right? If I work hard for it, why should I have to sacrifice? Like I said, very simple question to ask, because if working hard was enough, then the question of you sacrificing would not be a topic of discussion, simply because it all comes together. Listen, if you're in a relationship, if you're a woman in a relationship, right, and you're in an abusive relationship, you have 2 kids, you own your own car, the house belongs to you, you know what I'm saying? It's a community that you're from, right? You come from a small family. So what's the sacrifice, right? Well, you're in an abusive relationship. You getting your head kicked in weekly just because the sun came up or the sun went down. You are getting your head kicked in, right? You done call the police, nothing is happening, right? You done threatened to kick him out, nothing is happening except for you got your head kicked in again, right? Everything that you own is wrapped up in this address, in this car, and this. He tell you that if you drive the car, he gonna kill you. If you leave his house, I'm gonna kill you. You have 2 kids that are looking up to you. What are you really willing to give up to get everything you want? Let's see, you got a couple of choices, right? You could, I don't know, fight back, right? But he's probably bigger than you. You know how you women like bigger men. Y'all don't like them little cats, you know what I'm saying? Like them big boys, right? So he's probably bigger than you. So you probably can't fight him, right? You could pull a knife on him, but if he gets the knife from you, then he's probably going to end up hurting you with that same knife, right? Or here's a crazy one, right? Leave everything. Leave everything. Because those things that you're fighting for are materialistic things. Clearly, you ain't got no brother, no uncle that gonna come to your rescue. The friends you got, they pussycats, they ain't gonna come over there and fight for you. So you can either die trying to keep it and save it, or you can put forth a legitimate effort to get yourself and your children to safety. Because if he's abusing you, at some point it's gonna turn to them. Why do you got to become Superwoman and try to go to the extreme to save your kids when you're not even trying to save yourself? Because the one question that them kids, as they get older, they're going to keep asking you is this: why didn't you leave? Mom, if it was as bad as you said it was, why didn't you leave? Oh, because I had my car. Oh, because that was our home. Blah, 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 blah. What are you willing to sacrifice? And I say this with emphasis because as men, right, we also have to sacrifice. Can it be to the extreme of the abusive, situation I just gave for the women? No, probably not, right? Because, quote unquote, we can fight back and defend ourselves, right? But you got your own car. You got your own place, but you decided to let your shorty come live there. Now she's going through all your stuff. And if you look for something hard enough, you'll find exactly what it is that you're looking for, right? So now you've sacrificed your freedom. You've sacrificed your space. You've sacrificed your time, your energy, your effort, your heart for someone who is mentally playing games. You all the way in love, right? But yet she's just playing games because she raised by her dad, and her daddy was a player from around the way, player from the Himalaya. So she learned the game from the best of them. So she wants to meet you, somebody who has a genuine heart, but she's willing to play these games with you. And every time you leave, she do that thing that you love, right? From the bag, or over the sofa, or she cook your favorite meal, or she run you some water, whatever your thing is, right? She knows your secret, and she decides to use those things. And so now she's mentally abusing you. What are you willing to give up? Because you want the love, right? She shows you just enough love. It's kind of like your job, right? The industry says you need to be paying 12, so they're going to pay you 11. They're going to pay you just enough to see if you're going to hang around for another year or two to get that dollar, right? So she shows you just enough love to keep you interested, to keep you fully engaged, right? She might go a couple of months where, she loves you. She want to go wild. She want to take pictures. She won't post. She won't let the world know that you exist. Blah, 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 right? All you want is love. And yet, the one thing you can't get from her is actual love. That's going to be a topic that we're going to hit on down the road, right? It's called, what is love? Is it an action or is it an emotion? Well, you're dealing with someone where you're an emotional, she's an action person. She thinks that because she cooks your food, or she cooks your food, or she washes your clothes, or she takes you to work, or she makes sure you get up for work. All of those things benefit her while also benefiting you. But what are you willing to sacrifice to get everything you want? Because, as I told you guys in my monologue, I'm not a traditional thinker. I'm a non-traditional thinker, right? So, a traditional way of thinking when it comes to this ultimate sacrifices, right? They'll tell you, keep your head down, right? Stay out of trouble. Go to church. Be respectful. Blah, 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 blah. Come on, man. We've heard all of the huff and puff, right? And yet we still continue to lose. Why do I have to lose everything? Right? Because everything that I want has not been obtained. That's why we must continue to sacrifice. I'm a non-traditional thinker, right? And I'm telling you, people sacrifice every single day. We don't pay attention to it. Hey, let me give you a couple tips, right? Check it out. We sacrifice so much that God gave his only begotten son so that you would have. That's a sacrifice, right? So we do it. What? Oh, that's not enough for you? Well, hang on then. How about this here? Rims over rent. Oh yeah, we know that one, right? We know that one. The one that's got, this $3,000 paint job, the $8,000 rims, inside flossed out, right? But ain't paid rent in 3 years, still living in the mama's garage. Still living in the basement, right? Oh, I'm sorry. How about this one then? For you ladies, how about this one here? That man over your kids. The one that look good, the one that smell good, the one that like to sell you some, some oceanfront property in Phoenix, Arizona. The one that's going to show you the world, the one that's got Dubai on his to-do list, but you got to pay for it. The man over the kids. Because all those things that he's talking about involved you and him. Where was your kids? In your mom's house? Over the no good, sorry baby daddy, as you refer to him, right? Fellas, I'm not gonna let y'all know that easy. How about that chasing the bag over telling your family that you love them? Something simple. Oh, I gotta go to work. Oh, I'm out here hustling. I'm out here grinding. I'm chasing this bag. That bag has got to be the fastest bag on the planet. I've never seen a bag with legs, but I'm telling you, it eludes a lot of you. But yet, we're willing to sacrifice everything to get it. We're willing to sacrifice everything for that man, for them rims, for that bag. But yet, when it comes to getting everything you want, you ain't willing to sacrifice your time, that car that you bought, that house that you live in. You ain't gonna find love down the street, right? Your dream job might not be in your same area code. What are you willing to sacrifice to get everything you want? Because nothing good in life comes without an ultimate sacrifice. We do it every single day. I've been talking, and I got a few listeners that send me questions while I'm talking, and I want to try to hit on a few of those questions. Like I said, I'm never gonna, put them out there by name unless they want to do the app, or unless they want to have a one-on-one with me and have a conversation. One of the questions that one of the listeners is asking me is, what was my biggest sacrifice? I think my biggest sacrifice was relationships. I've always been so committed to furthering my own agenda, um, not letting the people around me do without, putting things in my life in a better perspective. So I sacrificed a lot of relationships because in order to have those relationships, I had to commit more of myself than I was prepared to give. I had to commit to love when I wasn't ready to love. I had to commit to being a father when I wasn't ready to be a father. So my biggest sacrifice was relationships, and I don't mean, the male-female relationships. That's a part of it. But I sacrificed relationships with my kids. I sacrificed relationships with my own mother. I sacrificed relationship with two of my sisters. God decided that one of them was going to leave me, and then my mom was going to be gone. My wife is gone, right? So I sacrificed a lot of relationships so that I don't have to, or the people around me don't have to do without. I think the biggest sacrifice that I regretted was I lived in a neighborhood, and a lot of you may be able to relate to this one. I lived in a neighborhood where there was a lot of kids. And normally when there's a lot of kids, it's usually a neighborhood that once you start making a little bit of money, you don't want to live in, right? So I had to sacrifice my childhood friends for me to live in a better neighborhood. So I don't even know if the sacrifice was mine or was it his, but in that ultimate pursuit of trying to give your family a better life, we must make that ultimate sacrifice to get everything that we want, because nothing good in life comes without the sacrifice. Another question I got was, do I still have to sacrifice if I'm winning? Yes. Yes. And if you didn't hear me, yes. Because if the sacrifice got you to the win, how much more can you win if you sacrifice a little bit more? The world we live in is nobody's giving us anything anymore. We gotta go take it. And when you take it, you own it. When you own it, what's that American Express commercial? Ownership has its privileges. You get to come and go as you please. You get to do whatever it is you want. So the answer to your question is, do I have to sacrifice if I'm winning? Heck, yes, you do. That's how you started winning, because you sacrificed. Now that you've made that sacrifice, right, and you've got it and you win it, right? You got the whip, you got the job, you got the nice crib, right? You got the family, you got the dynamics, right? Now, how much do I need to sacrifice? Okay, boom, I want a bigger spot, right? My family's still growing. My kids are becoming teenagers. They don't want to be in the same room with each other. So I'm going to have to sacrifice something. The house that we started growing up in, I may have to give up something. We may have to put it on the market so I can find something better, right? The Lexus that you bought that Lexus or that Infiniti or whatever it is your dream is to get that whip, right? You finally get it. But by the time you pay it off, it's outdated. Do I keep my baby, or do I go ahead and sacrifice it, put that for sale sign on it to go get something new? But what's my sacrifice? I'm going to have to start paying notes again. Okay? So yes, if you sacrifice and you win, yes, you have to keep sacrificing. Okay? Another question is, Is it ever too much to sacrifice for the ones you love? I told you I'm a non-traditional thinker, right? And the answer is yes. There is a such thing as too much sacrifice for everyone else. Because contrary to what everybody may want you to think, right? Just because you're in a relationship don't mean you give up yourself. You make sacrifices. You make sacrifices, but you do not have to give up self. You still have the right to privacy, right? You still have the right to have friends. You still have the right to know people of the opposite sex. So yes, there is a such thing as too much sacrifice for your loved ones, because if they really love you, then they're not asking you to give up who you are just to be with them. They're not asking you to stop being you to make them happy. Because how are you supposed to make someone else happy if you can't even make yourself happy anymore? Your happiness does not come from them. I used to go to church, and one of the songs they used to sing was, "The world didn't give it, so the world can't take it." What makes this individual more important than the world? What makes your kids more important than your own happiness? Because I guarantee you, a unhappy parent has unhappy children. Okay, so yes, there is a such thing as too much sacrifice for your loved ones. Okay. Next question. Should I be satisfied once I start to win? Well, the average person would probably say yeah, because you're winning. I'm not average. No. I'm telling you right now, I am never satisfied. I'm not satisfied with my partner. I'm not satisfied with my children. I'm not satisfied with my job. I'm not satisfied with my income. I'm not satisfied with the life I live. I'm not satisfied with the love. But because I can say those things out loud, right? My reality is, if I'm unsatisfied with them, then do something to become satisfied. And if you can do something to go from I'm cool to I'm happy, then how come you can't sacrifice a little bit more to go from I'm happy to I'm great, I'm awesome, I'm cool on the other side of the pillow? So no, you should not be satisfied once you start winning. Okay. Next question is, what does it say? Is a sacrifice for selfish gain or for others? I don't think it's either or. Because whatever it is you're sacrificing, it's always going to be for selfish gain. But it can also benefit others. So, back this, right? I don't have a job, right? But I have a relationship. I want a job. My career is I want to drive trucks, but the relationship says that I need to be home. She requires a whole lot of attention. Am I prepared to give up my career to make her happy? I learned a long time ago, and it was funny when I seen it in a movie, right? It says a lot of men lose a lot of money chasing women, but a man would never lose a woman chasing money. So yes, I'm going to sacrifice that relationship for my career, for my future, for my sanity, to take care of myself and those that are going to be in my life, even if you decide not to be. But if you choose to stay, I'm doing this for us, because you started with me in the mud. So why wouldn't I take you to the shower with me to get cleaned up, and let's go floss on the next food? Okay. Next question. But what if I sacrifice it all and still lose? What do I do next? Keep sacrificing. Keep grinding. Get it. Don't wait for it. Take it. I ain't saying rob, steal, and kill. I'm talking about go get what belongs to you. Because if you don't get what belongs to you, somebody else is going to get it. I tell you like this right here. If I got the ability to go get it and I don't go get it, and somebody else does go get it, if not me, then who? And if so, them, then why not me? I'm a firm believer in that. Let me say that for you one more time, right? If not me, then who? And if so, them, why not me? That's what you do. If you lose, you go get it. And if you lose it again, go get it again, because you've already set the foundation on what it's going to take to get it. You've already set the foundations on what you got to do. You now know how to go get it out the mud, because that's where you started at. So this time you're going to, instead of putting one foot out the mud and one foot on solid ground, right? Don't stop grinding till you get them both up there. And then when you get them both up out the mud, don't clean your boots off. Keep on kicking over and throw some dirt back on that mud, so that if you do fall back, right, the fall ain't that far. So that's what you do. You sacrifice it all, and if you still lose, you keep going to get it. Because I promise you, nobody ever gives it their all. Nobody. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your wife, not your husband, not your kids, not your job. Nobody. Hell, you not even giving it your all. So, if you sacrifice, quote unquote, it all, and you still lose, what do you do next? Sacrifice the rest of it that you hold in the reserve tank for the just in case day. That's what you do. My last question, okay, says, why should I have to give up my youth for my kids? Simple. Because you decided to have your kids when you were young. I'm not really sure how much further you want me to take that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, these kids didn't ask to be here, right? And sometimes we got to give up everything to give them everything that they want. And the sad part about it is, man, because of technology and social media, these kids don't even know what they want anymore. But you still got to give it up. If you're a young mom, I pray for you, man. If you're an old parent, I pray even harder for you, because you're going to be 55, 60 going to a graduation. Everybody think you're the grandparent, you're going to be the parent. My bad, but it's all good, though. But listen, man, I have truly, truly enjoyed this last half hour. As I stated before, we're going to be putting this out every Monday, God willing, every single Monday. I'm going to try to get them out very early for you, so that hopefully you can spend your lunch or drive someone else to the topic and let them listen and let them go into it. Our next conversation that we're going to have, God willing, is going to be patience with your partner. And what that's going to be about is, we are so quick to judge and so quick to throw people to the wolves and get rid of them. People aren't perfect. And because they aren't perfect, we must have patience with our partners, okay? This is that boost of life. That's what the DBL stands for. That boost of life. Follow me on Instagram, that boost of life too. DATBUSALIFE 2. And I promise you, we're going to have a lot more conversations. We'll have a lot more topics. Until next Monday, or until we interact on social media, I want to wish you and your family the best, because me and my family is striving every single day to get and become the best. With love, I ask all of you stay safe, and I'll catch up with you the next time. We out.